Yo guys, what's good? Hi. Oh my gosh. I have not done, I feel like first of all I need to get my mother effing selfie stick. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Not getting my selfie stick because this is like super crucial. Hi. So, I'm going to be answering your questions. So, for those of you who know, I have a blog, which is like my favorite thing in the world. And, hold on a sec. I have this little series that I started, and I've only done it a couple times so far, but it's called Ask Alex. And basically, what happens there is that I answer some questions that you submit to me. So, I figured, so today, it was like super random. So today, I sent out a tweet and I was like, I kind of feel like doing that again today. So I sent out a tweet. I was like, who's got questions for me? Because I will be thrilled to answer them. So here I am answering your questions that you have submitted to me. If you would like me to answer your questions, by the way, it's just completely anonymous. Your identity is concealed. You can email teamfantasyfactory@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to do my best to answer your burning questions. Okay, so without further ado, now I almost feel like, see, can you tell I'm doing this on a whim? Because now I'm like, maybe I should get a fucking microphone too and really go to town here. Like, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it right, I have a little bit of a sinus infection right now. Not COVID. I got tested. Thank God. I'm counting my blessings here. Hopefully this microphone makes it a little bit more crisp. We are going to a very janky situation because my stand broke, but we're going to make do. Can you hear me? Is this good? Is it fuzzy? Let me know. I think I gotta jerry-rig it a little bit. Yeah, buddy. I think I got it. Cool. All good. We're good. Okay. So I got the microphone set up. Alright. So I'm gonna answer some cues that you sent to me. This is literally, like I said, it happened on a whim today. And like I said, also, I'll give you the email at the end of this little cast, and you can send me your questions. So the first one is, I have a Chihuahua, by the way, outside my door who's stalking me. He's my dog, but he's, if you can hear a little sniffing and scratching, that's him. Because he's gonna come in here and bark, and I don't trust him in here. So anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna get started. Okay, so the first one is, I've been following an actress in the porn industry on social media and have been texting her online for several months. We text several times a day, every day. I would really love to meet her in person, and she seems to want the same thing. Every time I try to arrange a meeting, she always comes up with an excuse. My friends and family think I'm being scammed, but I truly believe she's the real thing. I keep asking for a real-life phone call or video chat, but she says her management won't allow it and that she doesn't have video on her phone. Ugh. Since you were in the porn industry, I was hoping you could give me some tips. Would management keep her from talking on the phone and video chatting? Is that possible? Even if we have become more than friends, thanks in advance for any help you can give me. Oh boy. Buddy, I hate to break it to you, but you are definitely being catfished. You are 125% being catfished. I can tell you right now that no management, unless your manager is literally a pimp, in that case, she's got to get the F out of that situation. It's not a good situation that you are in. This sounds like it. This screams catfish to me. In fact, no management works for you, right? When you're in any sort of entertainment situation, your management works for you. So there would be no situation in which a manager would be like, no, you cannot talk to that person. A, B, all the excuses. It's one thing if it happens one time, but if it consistently happens and you're like, oh, I can't chat, that's a major red flag to me as well. The third thing that really is a red flag to me is the fact that she says she doesn't have a video on her phone. Okay, well, we are in 2021. If she's on a phone, unless you're on a track phone from 1999, there's video on every single phone. So I am sorry, my love, but you are indeed being catfished. I would cut that off immediately. I would just end it all right there. Stop talking to her, because you are very likely talking to a man in mom's basement. Yeah. People are wild, seriously. So that is my response to you. I would hop on a dating app and go from there. But yes, you are being catfished, my love. But I'm sending my love to you, okay? Okay. This is the next question, P.S. As a Long Islander with NY Pride, I followed your work for a long time. Love that. I have massive respect for artists who are passionate about their work in all mediums. What's the hardest part about dating as an actress? Do you prefer to date people who don't know about your work, or people who are viewers of your work? Both ends may have pros and cons, so is there one that typically works out better for you? Yeah. Okay, so first of all, like, I don't keep my job a secret. First of all, I'm not sneaky like that. Second of all, that'd be really stupid. Like, I would never do that to someone. I think that's super deceitful. I just don't play that game. I'm very, for anyone who knows me, I'm very, like, upfront. I'm very blunt. I'm very, like, this is what you get. This is who I am. Like, it is what it is. So it's, like, not... I would say that it's challenging in the sense that if you are getting to know me and you didn't know me before I got into the world of adult entertainment, yeah, it can be a little bit slippy sometimes because people have this preconceived idea as to who I am and what I'm about because of what they see on the internet, but that is just one part of me that I share with the world. I'm a very deep person. I have many layers, just like any other human, and this is my job ultimately. So it would be like, you know, if you're dating an accountant and you go on an accountant's Instagram page and all they're posting about is accounting stuff, you know, like, they obviously have more, I would hope they would have more depth to them than just being an accountant, and that's how my job is as well. There's a lot more layers to this, so it's kind of like people tend to think like, well, this is who she is online, so like she must be this way in real life, which is not the case. So that's a little bit of a hump to get over. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying that like that has been my challenge, because it's like people like see one thing, they see me online and they see me acting a certain way online, and then in real life I'm like very reserved and I'm very like, let's have conversations and yada yada, and I'm like, people have weird misconceptions about porn stars. Like, they think like we're all sexual and we're all like, oh, let me just like get it on with you all the time, but it's like not like that at all. I'm like a normal ass person. I just like have an abnormal job. I'm just open-minded and I don't judge people. That's what I have to say about that. So, yeah, I mean, to answer that question, I prefer to date people who do know about my work. That's the only way I can date people. Like I said, I would never, ever, 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 ever hide that from anybody. That'd be a terrible thing to do. And also, it's like, I'm upfront. So it's like, this is who I am and what I'm about. And some people are cool with it and some are not. So it's like not that hard. Like, some people know and understand that this is like my work and it's what I do, and some people can't get over the fact that like, oh, you like have sex with people and it's on the internet and like that's on them, it's not my problem, and thank you, next, you know? So I don't take it to heart. I don't care. Like, everyone has different beliefs, everyone has different values, everyone has different opinions, and so my vibe is I only date people who like can see me as a human beyond the work that I do, if that makes sense, and like can have that level of understanding that like this is my job, but it's not fully encompassing of who I am, if that makes sense. So, and the right people get it. The right people do understand. So it is possible. It's not hard. It's very black and white to me. It's like you're either cool with it or you're not, and like people sometimes, you know, people who are cool with it, like, you know, like it works out great. So that is that. Yeah, and honestly, like, everyone I've ever dated, like, they knew I do adult film. I know for a fact that, like, you're gonna go and look me up online, and, like, I don't care. Like, obviously, it's Googleable. If I were in their shoes, I'd be doing the same thing, you know? So, that's that. Okay, third one. I'm curious which relationship style you find suits you best. Like polyamory, monogamy with the exception of work, more of a swinging style, non-monogamy. Cheers, think you're cool. That's a good question. That is a really good question. So at this point in my life, first of all, it's a very much like a case-by-case basis. Like, I think in relationships, it really is all about, like, it's a case-by-case basis. It's all about, like, communicating with your partner and, like, what works best for you two. And this is not just me. It's for literally everybody, because everybody's different. Everyone has preferences. Everyone has a different lifestyle. And all of that is great because, believe it or not, there's no right or wrong way to do your mother effing life. Like, fuck society and, like, oh, you have to do it this way. Like, no, screw that. I don't play that game whatsoever. But that said, it is a conversation, it's communicating, it's deciding in that particular situation, okay, what's going to be fair to both parties, what do both parties want, how can we come to an agreement, all of that. That said, right now, at this point in my life, I have done the swinging thing in the past, like in my 20s. That was kind of just like a phase that I went through. It was fun, it was cool. Not a polyamory person. I'm just not that way. If anything, I would say I am this way. I'm just a monogamous, like, I am monogamous AF, like, in relationships. Like, I'm just good with, like, one person, and that is that. I have no desire whatsoever, especially after being in my line of work for so long. It's like, all I want is, like, normalcy, if that makes sense. So, you know, my job, it's not like the performance that you see on camera versus what happens in real life. They're two very different things. They're completely, like, apples to oranges. Like, it's like a dance, you know, it's like a performance. We are performing for an audience who is watching it, so there's no level of emotional connection whatsoever, aside from, like, oh, you're my colleague and we're gonna make a really cool scene for humans to enjoy. But there's never, like, oh, like, you're hot, like, text me. I mean, I'm not that way anyways. I'm very professional on set. I'm, like, very, like, let's get this done. Let's do our job. Like, let's do the damn thing, and then I'm going home. So I am not that person. Some people are, like, whatever, but, like, I'm, like, super, like, cut and dry, like, boss bitch. So there's that. But I mean, but that said, I'm also, like, you know, very open-minded. I don't judge. So, again, it depends on the situation. If my partner, like, I'm down to, like, you know, bring girls around, like, that's always a great time for both parties. Like, love that so much. But other than that, like, nah, I'm like vanilla. I'm very monogamous. I'm just good with one. Just one is good for me. That's fine. That's fine. And then my work, you know. But like I said, that's, the physical act is there, but the mental connection, you know, sometimes I do work with friends. A lot of times everyone's chill, everyone's profesh, but that is that. That is that. Yeah. All right, where's the other one? Oh, hi. Do you think it's possible to fall in love with someone you are chatting with on the internet, someone you have never met in person? Ooh. Well, I think that anything is possible. I really think that anything is possible. So yes, I believe that possibility exists. However, I feel like if I can only speak for myself. So if I were in that position, I would be guarded to a degree with my emotions, with my feelings, until I actually got to meet that person in real life. It would also be a matter of, like, hey, like, if you're on a dating site, for example, or you're on, like, some social media app and you meet some person, they slide it. I mean, it's 2021. Like, people do this. Like, I know people who do this. They slide in DMs and they're chatting and they're really hitting it off. And, like, then they get on, like, a video chat and then they're chatting for a while and they get to know each other and they communicate and they have a connection. Yeah, I do think that is possible. And then you meet in person. So, yes, I think it's possible. But in terms of, like, sitting on a phone or on a computer and you're just typing and you never see the person on video, that would be a red flag for me. And like I said, if I were in that situation, my feelings and my emotions would be super guarded up until like, okay, now I get to know the person more, I get to trust them and know that they're like real and like, you know, they're not a catfish and all that. So it would be like a step by step process. But overall, the answer to that question on my end is yes. I do believe that it is possible, but it is important to meet them eventually, because you can only gauge so much about who a person is and what they're about by even video chatting. Like, you need to meet people in person, because there's certain things you can read about a human and you can just tell, like body language and communication style and all that, if they're being sincere and all that from meeting them in person. Okay, last one, guys. Last one. I'm loving this. I'm going to keep doing this. Okay. Hi, beautiful. I'm from the UK and in lockdown at moment. Life seems to be going so slow. I do feel that. How are you coping with the Covet situation? And do you have a favorite male you like working with? Okay, so the first answer to that question is, how am I coping with the Covet situation? I'm doing really good. I'm really, really, really doing good. I mean, I feel like just like anyone else, like 2020 just threw lots of curveballs at me, but very early on, in fact, when this first started, when it was in March, and I vividly remember I had done my last scene, got a really nice paycheck, and I did my last scene, and I got home, and then I was hearing more and more about COVID, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to work for a while this is going on. I'm not comfortable. So I remember I canceled. This was March. So I called my agent and I canceled a couple scenes I had coming up. And then it started to get worse. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to get out of here. So I went to New York for a few months, really hunkered down. I didn't know what was going on. But during that time, it really forced me, since I was not doing my usual going to set like I had been for 5 years. I got a lot of time to be still and really think about what was making me happy and what I wanted. And I realized a bunch of stuff. First one being that I much prefer to produce my own content, because I'm very much a bossy, like A-type, like I like to do what I want to do with who I want when I feel like it, and I make more money producing my own content, full disclosure. So it was just kind of like, well, you know, I think now is the time to really go more in that direction. Number two was just realizing that, hey, I have all this time. What can I do? I'm not going to sit around and watch TV. Like, I'm not that way. So what can I do? I was like, well, I've always wanted to start a blog. I've always wanted to start a merch store. There's just a lot of stuff that I had always been wanting to do, but I never did because I was just working all the time. And so I did that. So I've just been busy. I've been keeping busy with a lot of different projects, that a lot of which you guys have not even seen because they have not seen daylight yet. They will be rolling out slowly. I wrote a book. I wrote a book. I've written a bunch of ebooks. Those are going to be coming out soon. I made an online course. Like, I have been going ham. So it's all in perspective. And for me, I make the most out of every situation I'm in. We can't always control what happens to us, but what we can control is how we respond to it. And from day one, I refused to be a victim, and I refused to tell myself a story of how, like, my life was over and all that shit. I was like, well, now's the time to pivot and, like, do all the things that I wanted to do. So that said, yes, it has been good. I also left LA. I moved to the East Coast, where I'm from. I just realized how much I did not like living in the city. I'm a country girl, so it was all really good. I'm happier than ever. Full disclosure, I'm super happy. So things are, like, just different, but they're not bad. They're different and they're great. So that's how I'm handling it. My life is just a lot more chill now, but I'm also, like, 31. Like, I just want to be chilling, you know? I don't want to go out, and I can anyways, so that's fine. As for a favorite male I like working with, I'm going to be boring and just say no. I really don't. I mean, I vibe well with a lot of my male colleagues. Like, there are too many that I love that are just really great people to be around. Always bring good vibes to set, are always super professional, give a great scene, and those are my type of people. So, that is that. I think I said a lot of things there. I gave a lot of good answers, and that was a good Q&A session, guys. So, thank you for joining my little chit chat, and I appreciate y'all being here, and I hope you have a beautiful day. And P.S. if you have your questions, just send me questions, because I'm literally not gonna like look at anything else. Like if you send me a pic of like that, I'm not gonna like, just don't freaking do it. You gotta pay me money for this. I love y'all, but like send your questions to teamfantasyfactory@gmail.com, and I'll be doing a lot more of these. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.